Merry Christmas, everyone. And I certainly pray that all of you have had a phenomenal time reuniting with family members or going out and having enjoyable opportunities with your friends and family. Let's take a look at what's going on. The inflation numbers are dropping rapidly on Truflation, and the reason is a bit surprising. The drop is in the items that you would buy in the grocery store plus clothing. This has been an area that's been going up recently, so coming down really rapidly now might be the beginning of the deflation that was predicted by Costco and Walmart's CEOs. This would be the very items that would have the most visibility that they would have the most visibility regarding. So Truflation has dropped all the way down to 2.55 from over 3% in just a couple of weeks. The biggest category, housing, is still sitting at around 2.46, which is good. But the only reason that it's even as high as 2.46 is that the residential number is still staying high. And these numbers will almost surely be dropping in the next few weeks as we start to get more of the winter numbers in. So that whole inflation thing is looking pretty strong in terms of what we might be expecting from the Fed. And again, my more recent prediction that the first cut might come before March if we start to see this reflected in the CPI and PPI and PCE next month. All right. So this is Randy Kirk. Again, wishing you a Merry Christmas. Please hit the regular things that you should always hit, the like and the subscribe and the notify. And then, you know what? We got Brian White coming tomorrow and Wednesday instead of Monday and Tuesday. We've got Nicholas Gibbs tomorrow night. We'll be helping out with Good News Tuesday. That's what's going to be coming up. And, you know, at the end of this video, I'm going to give you a review of the Sphere in Las Vegas. We were just in Vegas for the last couple of days. That's why we didn't have so many videos out over the last few days. And I think that you're going to be surprised at the review for the Sphere in case you're thinking of going there or know somebody that is. All right. So Top Gear continues to get a ton of mileage from their time with the Cybertruck. They just put out an article on their own platform, I think yesterday. And after he threw out a couple of lame negatives that might not even be true, for instance, that there are sharp edges on the truck, by now I'm sure he should have seen others who have pointed out that those sharp edges are no longer there. He goes on to say this, which I think you'll like. He says, but I still like it. I like that I couldn't apply the normal road test handbook to reviewing it, that it exists in a gray area where panel gaps and potential injury, meaning those problems with sharp edges, don't matter to customer because it's so bonkers and excites them to say that they'll buy it anyway. I like the way that it confuses the hell out of people on the street, like the man who refused to believe it was real even when I told him it was a production truck, or the bloke who kept telling his friend it was a movie car even when I told him it really wasn't. I like the fact that I've been asked about it by my auntie and neighbors and all sorts of people who wouldn't normally care at all about cars, but have been caught in the Cybertruck's web of fascination. I like that while it's not as innovative as Tesla would like you to believe, excuse me, man, are we starting with that myth now? It is so innovative, so much more so, at least as much as what Tesla says. Anyway, while it may not be as innovative as Tesla would like to believe, that it has been engineered properly to handle better than traditional trucks, that it doesn't have an enormous battery built to chase that 500-mile headline range figure, but it'll reap all the benefits of a fast charging 800-volt structure and Tesla's superior charging network. He says finally, I like how it looks. I really do. It's mesmerizing. It's lumping and fridge-like from some angles, and the panels look rippled in direct sunlight, and it's bloody massive, but you can't take your eyes off of it. And when it's plonked down in the real world, it makes you smile. So anyway, thought that would be fun for you to hear. Sawyer Merritt says, I think this is really cool. In the latest heat map climate poll, I don't know exactly what that even means, a heat map climate poll. I understand heat map, that's where they do an analysis of where things are strong or not so strong, or people are feeling this way or that way, and you know what a heat map is. What am I going on about? Okay, but I don't know what it has to do with climate. Anyway, the results of the poll were 35% of future EV buyers said Elon Musk had actually made them more likely to purchase a Tesla, up 4 points from 31% in February. Then when you go the other way, people who said Elon Musk's behavior made them less likely to pick a Tesla, it went from 36% that said it would make them less likely. That was back in February. And then in November, it had dropped all the way down to 27%. Is Elon's behavior getting better? Is he not? Are people just, okay, it's Elon, whatever? Or is it what I've been talking about for at least 6 or 7 months, which is that, yeah, some of the folks that are on the left are unhappy, and they might still be unhappy, but maybe they're getting less unhappy. And folks on the right who were unhappy with Elon now maybe are getting more happy, or at least not as unhappy. Anyway, that's a couple of possibilities there for you. All right, what do we got coming up this week in terms of reporting? Not very much. The week between Christmas and New Year's typically is kind of light, and they forced some stuff into last week because this week is so light. Anyway, so we've got the S&P Chase-Shiller Home Price Index. That will be out on Tuesday, tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. So I'll be able to pick that at 9 o'clock Eastern. So I will be able to pick that up in order to report it to you. The home price index is expected by the folks that they asked to go up by 5%, up from 3.9. I'm not sure. That doesn't seem right to me. I'm going to say this is no. I'm going to say they're going to be off on this, and it will be surprisingly maybe 3.9 or going down as opposed to going up. I'm not sure. Anyway, I didn't do any deep dive on this, but it doesn't sit right with my thinking. Then nothing on Wednesday. Then on Thursday, we've got the initial jobless claims, as always. They're predicting those to go up a tiny bit, but to still be in that same range at 215,000 compared to 205 last week. We have got the advanced U.S. trade balance and goods. We have got the advanced retail inventories, which they are not predicting. There's no prediction on either one of those. And then advanced wholesale inventories with no prediction again. Let's see. Retail inventories for November, is that seasonally adjusted? If they're seasonally adjusted, I would expect it still to be down. Either way, I think it's going to be down. And then wholesale industries also down. But I think we're going to start to see that trend back the other way, and in future months. And then reporting at 10 o'clock, which I won't be able to talk to you about until Friday or Thursday night, would be pending home sales. They're expecting that to go up 1%, more homes being available on the market compared to being down last month by 1.5%. Then on Friday, the Chicago Business Barometer. That's all you got this week. I continue to believe that Tesla stock is headed up this coming week. Now, reaching 300 in 4 days, yeah, seems pretty unlikely at this point, but I think we will continue up. We got to break through that 259.5 level. If we go through there, we could easily get to 275, 280, but 300 seems unlikely, at least maybe. But the numbers for Q4 are coming in a week from Tuesday. And so when those come in, if they hit 1.8 million or more, I think that would take us beyond 300 in just a few days, maybe that day, maybe a few days after. The market overall is a little bit harder to read right now. We're only 2 weeks away from the first earnings reports. And I think that's what people are going to be a little bit cautious until those come out, because the indices are out there a little rich. We got into the super greed, category. So maybe we need some earnings reports and some projections, some people talking about what they're expecting for the year in those fourth quarter earnings reports. Some people that'll be giving their annual projection, what they think they're going to do in 2024. When we start to see those kind of things come out, I think that could start, if it's positive, and I think it will be positive given the fourth quarter, that we've been seeing, when those numbers start looking positive, I think that will give the market the next leg it needs, along with Tesla in that same thing. Now, then if truflation is correct, if we see inflation actually go back, drop through, I can see it now. I've been saying it for months, but I continue to say I think we're going to see the inflation drop below that 2% level. And if that happens, then I barely said this out loud, but I think there's a chance the Fed will move before March. I'm beginning to think they're going to have to move before March. I think they're absolutely going to move by March if they haven't moved until then, but they might now have to move sooner. Then, of course, for Tesla, we'll have their earnings report on the 17th. Maybe they haven't announced yet. It could be on the 24th. Some people say that if it's good news, it'll be on the 17th, and if it's bad news, it'll be on the 24th. I don't know if that's true, but one way or the other, it'll be on one of those days, most likely. Now, I haven't seen many people holding up their hand yet and saying what they think the numbers are going to be, their final guess on what's going to happen for the fourth quarter on Tesla's production on the vehicles, or for that matter, for energy storage, which maybe they'll start announcing that as well. I'm not sure. But I'm guessing this week, a bunch of people are going to throw their hat in the ring on that. I'm just going to stick with my 1.8 million or more. I haven't had time, and I'm not going to have time this week because I got so many other things I need to talk to you about this week. I don't really care that much as long as we hit 1.8. If we miss 1.8 by more than, a few thousand, that's not going to be a pretty picture. Anyway, I'm going to rely on Brian White, Troy Teslite, Gary Black. Those three seem to be really, really capable of giving us the best possible answers at this point. All right, let's take a look now at the numbers as we're looking at them right now. We've got the 10-year bond continuing down. It's at 3.9. Now, it's been as low as about 3.77, so 3.9 is up. Toward the end of last week, it went up, but it is down almost 1 full basis point, and it is heading downward at this point. The 2-year opposite. It was down almost a basis point. Now it's only down 0.3 of a basis point, and we've got the 2-month going up along with all the short-termers. They're all up. So I continue to be flabbergasted and believe that this cannot last. What it will be that will break the back, which will cause people to start running towards these short-termers, I am just not really sure. Okay, let's take a look now at oil. We've got oil up 24 cents, which is 0.33%. We have got the difference between Texas Intermediate and Brent is still about $5.50. We got natural gas down strongly again, down 3.41% tonight. We've got gold up a tad. We have got the dollar down a tad, and we've got the Bitcoin up a tad. So pretty much not much movement in those particular items. Then here we go with the Dow. So we've got a pretty strong start here. We've got the Dow up 51, which is 0.14%. We've got the S&P futures up 5.25, which is 0.11%. And we've got the NASDAQ up 25.5, which is up 0.15%. All three really right in the same amount in terms of how much they're up. All right, let me give you that. If you haven't hit like, hit subscribe, and notify. Please keep in mind Brian White tomorrow, and I know he's been posting some stuff that we're going to be talking about, which is going to be extremely exciting. So be sure and check in the midday. And I think you guys really, the response to having Nicholas Gibbs on last week on Tuesday, Good News Tuesday, very strong positive response. So he'll be on to help me take a look at the action tomorrow night. All right, what about that sphere in Las Vegas? All right, first of all, the minimum ticket, all right, not minimum, but I would say the minimum ticket, when you add on all the taxes and the fees and everything else, is about $320. I'm sorry, for two. So $160 a person. So that's a pretty, it's going to have to be pretty good to make me excited. And I'm paying $160 a ticket. Okay, so the exterior of the sphere is phenomenal. It's unbelievable. Now you can see it. on video. You can watch it and all the changes and stuff, actually a lot better than you can standing in the middle of the street and watching it. And then when you get up close, of course, you can't tell anything because it's pixels. And so the pixels are, I would say about that big. And so when you're up close, you can't see anything. So while you're standing in line, you're not really getting a show. Now, once you get inside, there's a pre-show, and it's okay. They've got one part of it that's really fun where they put you. Well, let me just get on to the show. All right. Now, remember now, $130 a ticket. No, $160 a ticket, all in. Have you guys been to an IMAX presentation? Where they go over these beautiful settings in America someplace, and they go over the top of a hill, and as they come down, you feel your stomach get queasy. Or they have close-ups of things and beautiful, and it's on this giant screen, and sometimes it's in 3D, and you're just really blown away by what they can do at an IMAX theater. Or maybe you've been down to Disney World with those rooms where they have the theater, where the screens are all around you, and you actually see stuff going by you on the sides, and you see and you could look behind and see what's behind you, and all that fun stuff with really amazing cinematography, and those kind of things. Yeah, well, if you've seen those, yeah, you're gonna see some of that. It's not 3D. Well, now again, this is not where they've got a band in the arena. This is for a video. This is for a, I don't know, 45-minute video of America, of the world, of the earth, showing beautiful videos of culture and showing mountains and oceans and rivers and lakes. And I mean, really beautiful stuff. It's really, really incredible. But yeah, maybe 45 minutes of this beauty and beautiful music, great sounds, and your seat shakes. They got a shaker in there so that when something happens, like an elephant walking by, your seat shakes. So all that's very cool, but it's got nothing, not a single piece of technology that IMAX and Disney haven't already shown us 25 years ago. I mean, it's 25. There's not something new. In fact, again, no 3D, and you can't turn around and look behind you and see what's behind you. You don't have, no, it's not any better, and in some ways, it's not as good as what's been done all of those years ago. So in terms of that part of it, it was like, okay, now I could see where if there was a concert, you had a great band or some kind of presentation, some kind of performance going on, and you had that wall behind them, and that's what you were looking at. I could see where that could be maybe worth paying the normal price or more for a ticket in order to get that combination going. It would be a great presentation like that. But otherwise, I couldn't figure it out. And then it was really, really agendized. I mean, hugely agendized in terms of Mother Earth and how we need to protect Mother Earth. And it was almost like it was some kind of a effort to get us to believe, in a myth, the mythology of Mother Earth. Even going to the extent to showing cathedrals and other religious buildings of other religions, and making the claim that these were built to somehow glorify Mother Earth as opposed to glorifying the philosophy or the religion or the gods of those religions. It was that part was extremely sad and off-putting. So that's why I would have been at $30 a head. I probably would have had a great review, except for the agendizing. But 160? Nah, pass. Don't go. Okay. That's so anyway, Merry Christmas to you all. I'm so excited, to have spent this year with you, and looking forward to what we're going to do next year. And so have a great week if you're on vacation, and we'll look forward to bringing in the new year with you in just another week. This is Randy Kirk, and it has been great talking to you.